For the past week, I've been studying Minecraft speedrunning. Yes, studying, you heard me. From reading Couriway's ultimate guide, watching tutorials, to taking physical notes, I even rebinded my keyboard to try and be more efficient in speedrunning. If you couldn't tell, I am absolutely hooked. So I wanted to review what I've learned in this past week, talk about my experience and what else I need to learn. If you're new to speedrunning like me, this could give you a rough idea of the foundations and basics, or maybe you don't know anything about speedrunning at all, which in that case, maybe you'll learn and understand the work that goes into Minecraft speedrunning, or the abbreviation I will be using from now on, MCSR. Also, leave a like on the video if you enjoy it. Anyway, let's start in chronological order of MCSR, which is the Overworld. Honestly, the Overworld isn't too crazy. There's not too much to learn. The biggest skills I picked up was figuring out how to find buried treasure map lists, which I still don't fully understand, but I'm sure with more practice it'll get better. I also learned the 5 different seed types for MCSR Ranked, which, if you don't know, is a competitive 1v1 where both players play the same seed and have standardized trades and filtered seed to be played efficiently and fast, which is what I'm mostly learning these skills for, though these skills are also used in normal random seed generation speedruns. And out of the 5 different ranked seeds, I am terrible at buried treasure, mostly because I'm still trying to get better at it, but I don't really get how to know how far the buried treasure is from me. It's like a 50-50 whether I actually find the right chunk. I know when you first start off in MCSR Ranked that you don't get buried treasure until a certain rank/elo, but I want to practice anyway. The rest of the seeds are fine though, with Desert Temple being somewhat difficult from lack of food, and I am a very risky player that takes a lot of unnecessary damage, so I really need to sort that out. The next thing I learned was Nether portals. I knew the basic lava pool one from 5 years ago when I originally got into Minecraft speedrunning, but I also learned how to do the magma ravine Nether portal, which honestly made me feel super cool. I don't know why, I just feel so advanced knowing how to do it, which is really fun. I kind of understand ruin portals, but haven't had enough practice to be consistent. Plus, there are different variations that I need to understand, but, you know, I'll learn that eventually. And since we're already in the Nether portal, let's move on to the Nether. For the Nether, there was a lot to learn for me. From learning how to E-ray to find bastions, and pie charting to find the fortress. I even learned about nether quadrants and how only one structure can spawn in a quadrant. I don't know, I understand it, but I don't utilize it a lot in runs because I cannot memorize the coordinates to save my life. But the biggest thing that I had to learn was bastion routes. Just to note before I talk about bastions, all of my knowledge is coming from Couriway's ultimate guide and Silver's and Dugile's tutorials on intermediate bastion routes. So there are probably other bastion routes and variations I don't know of just because I'm going off the guide. Okay, glad we got that out of the way. So there are 4 different bastion structures: bridge, housing, treasure, and stables. Bridge, housing, and treasure are really easy routes to learn, with maybe 2 to 3 different variations based off the structure, but stables, by far, is the worst one because it has 8 different routes to learn, which is absurd. As of recording, I've learned about 2 of the 8 different routes for stables, and it's the last bastion route I need to memorize. I've also been learning minor things like knowing where chests are and having to navigate buried bastions, which I absolutely despise because I practice so much on open bastions, so really need to switch things up. The rest are honestly easy, and since you have to follow a specific route, it's really easy to memorize, which is nice. It just feels like a lot to learn, but if you break it down into chunks, it's not that bad. I think the hardest part for me is learning how to identify what bastion structure it is from the outside, or if it's buried and not much is showing, and also having to navigate without gold armor, since I normally practice with gold armor on, which I should probably stop doing now that I think about it. Now, in a few of my practice runs, I always end up dying in Bastion just because I'm being stupid or think I can attempt a risky play when I am not. actually as good as I think. I just need to play slower and not stress myself out, because where I'm at, it honestly doesn't matter how fast I beat the game as long as I can beat it consistently. But after all the bastion routes and whatnot, we get to the Nether fortress. There wasn't too much I had to learn here besides for navigating the fortress to find blaze spawners and how to use beds and TNT to clear out space for more efficient spawning. There are minor things I learned, like changing render distance to get more mob spawns, and that basalt or warped forest have increased blaze spawn rates, but that's about it. The Nether fortress isn't too bad, besides dealing with wither skeletons and trying to find it in general if it's not immediately within the first few chunks. Oh, and I learned about pearl hanging, which is like really fun to do. I don't know why. I enjoy doing it and I feel so cool using it. Like the magma ravine nether portal, it almost feels advanced even though it's not at all. I've just never used it before in normal Minecraft gameplay. Okay, so the next part of the run is probably the most difficult part for me so far, and it's funny because it's kind of just, I would say it's minor, but it's still a pivotal part of the run. But I am terrible at it, which is eye measuring to find the stronghold. If you don't know, in MCSR, runners normally use a calculator called Ninja BrainBot to calculate where the stronghold is based off of a specific pixel on the Eye of Ender. And I am terrible at this, just because of how specific you need to get, and I am really, really picky that I will throw multiple eyes just to try and get the alignment almost pixel perfect, which is not great, to be honest. I know it comes with practice eventually, but dear lord, it's so hard for me. Currently, I'm just doing it the basic normal way, but I do know that there's a pixel perfect boat eye technique you can learn. I just clearly haven't learned it yet. It's on my to-do list though. And I know once I learn it, it would probably make eye measuring way easier. But again, that's a future thing to learn. And now we're in the home stretch. So after eye measuring is the stronghold. Again, like the Nether fortress, I mostly learned how to navigate the stronghold, figuring out how to find the starting staircase, and how to identify fake walls. I did learn preemptive, which is using the pie chart to try and find the silverfish spawner in the portal room, though it might not work sometimes, but overall I'm still terrible at navigating the stronghold in general. I know it'll come with practice and intuition, but damn, it does not help that I normally get messed up strongholds for no reason. I feel like a rat in a maze. Even when I use preemptive, I still get confused for some reason. And normally, when you reach the portal room, many runners do a hunger reset, which I know how to do, but I haven't used it yet in an actual practice run. And honestly, in general, I know a lot of different skills that I have yet to use, mostly because I haven't been in a situation to use them yet. But last but not least, the end. This part is something I am still learning and researching, as the end is more of a, how do I put it? It's only as complex as you want it to be. As in, it can be really easy or it can be overly complex the faster you want to go. So currently, what I've learned is the basics of how to one-cycle the dragon. As I know I should be aiming for the head hitbox, how to set it up, and standing at the opposite tower from where you want the dragon to start perching. Besides for that, I know absolutely nothing else. From my vague knowledge and context clues of watching other runners, I think you need to change the setup depending on where the dragon is when you first spawn, but I'm honestly not too sure and need to look into this more. And something about the dragon turning left or right when perching, but like, again, I have no clue. I'm just nervously standing beneath the dragon hoping I won't mess up. With my current practice, I can consistently get the dragon between 5 to 6 beds. I have yet to get a 4 bed, but I think it's because I don't understand the whole dragon spinning, rotating thing yet. I also haven't practiced much with respawn anchors, so I really need to do that. Not that it's much different, but it's just another skill set I know I'll need in the future, especially if I want to zero cycle. Speaking of zero cycle, I will eventually have to learn it if I want to get faster, but obviously I'm not that skilled yet since I just got into it, so I'm mainly focusing on understanding the one cycle to get it pretty consistent. I'd rather build my skills from the bottom than starting from something really advanced. Plus, I just don't think I'd be able to build that fast because I can't switch between gravel and soul sand really fast. It's just not something I have yet. And that's about all I've learned from this past week. I still have a lot more to understand and practice as I am barely scratching the surface with what I've learned. At this point, I feel like I learned the foundation and basics, but there is so much more beneath the surface that I can only understand through practice. As of recording, I've currently been watching Tubbo's and Couriway's MCSR subathon, which has been very fun and educational watching Tubbo play because I learn a lot from observations. Even though I'm not the one playing, I pick up on small things that Tubbo does that could help me out in my own runs.
Oh my god, I didn't right-click the bed!
I'll also watch Ludwig whenever he tries MCSR Ranked, but he's like not good, so I'm more learning on what not to do and how to not be stupid. So thanks, Ludwig, I guess.
I made a mistake. Such an idiot.
There are definitely other things I need to practice, like getting better at hotkeys, boat clutching, playing with less food, and risk management. A lot of minor things that can really make or break a run. But again, all that comes with practice and more hands-on experience. I can research and study all I want, but learning it conceptually and putting it into practice is way different. Hopefully within the next few weeks I'll get into attempting MCSR Ranked, but for now I will keep practicing in private rooms to really hone my skills so I don't feel too bad about losing. Or maybe I'll just never do Ranked because I get so stressed and I know I would get upset if I lose. But I got some goals to achieve and sometimes you gotta take the L, so I'll have to do Ranked sooner or later. Anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed learning some things and what I'm picking up when it comes to MCSR. I might make another video like this in the future if I end up learning more things, but I thought it'd be fun highlighting my journey in learning MCSR thus far. With that, I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace out.